Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. This is almost the last video that we need to work on our graph editor. After this video, the graph editor is functional, but I would like to refactor some codes. I'm not sure if I can make it in this video or if I need another video after this one. But this one is about drawing our metadata or any list of inline values. It's not just the metadata on the node. I made it so that if I shoot any list of inline values here, I can draw them anywhere it's being called. So we say list dot draw header callback. It's a callback that we can add to it, but here we will say rect goes into, and this is what is called lambda. Okay, what I want here is editor GUI inside Unity editor dot label field. Now when you are working with reorderable lists, I found that editor GUI stuff is much more usable and easier to use than other stuff. So for example, instead of using GUI layout.label, we go for editor GUI.label field, because now we have the rect from the callback and we just say value dot header, and we don't have that. We will come back to that later. Okay, then we say list dot, oh wait, no, I don't have that. I can accept something else here, and that is a string as header. That would make it much more easier to manage, because the value is a list of inline values. That doesn't make sense. Okay, then we say list dot draw element callback equals to rect int bool. Okay, we have rect index is active and is focused. We go into another multi-line lambda, and this is where we are drawing our reorderable list. Okay, but before that I want to add more callbacks. So we say list dot on oh no, it's lower n, on changed callback equals to that, and I will call it L. Here all I will do is say value dot value equals L dot list, and we need to typecast it to list of inline values, and that will work. Okay, and finally we say list dot do layout list, and finally we say return well, I did make it void, but it should return the list. So sorry, change type to return a reorderable list. Okay, now the only thing remaining is this draw element, and remember we have to now call this header, and we have an error here in the graph property view. The header I want is metadata. Okay, but beside from metadata I will say related this guy dot node name plus metadata. Okay, So back to the reorderable list. Here we say var element equals to inline value list dot list at index. Then we say float height equals to editor GUI layout, no, GUI utility, sorry, editor GUI utility dot single line height. Then we say var type equals to element dot data type. Now we say element dot name equals to editor GUI dot text field new rect, and the rect is our rect dot x comma rect dot y comma 50 for the width and the height. The content is, of course, element dot name. After that, we say element dot data type equals to cast to data type of editor GUI dot enum popup with new rect of rect.x plus 51, and for the y value it is rect.y 75, and then height. And here we say element dot data type. Okay, just by this let's build it and see what do we get. So if I come back to Unity, you see that each one of the metadata is showing its name and its data type. Okay, the rest will sit after this, and honestly I have two options here. One, to type them one by one, and then not one by one. And it's quite few lines, you know. Oh well, I will type them for you, and then we will see how it will show up. Okay, so now here's the thing. In my first design, I will put all of the things in one row. Okay, in next chapter we will come and maybe tweak this guy, but for time being every data will be shown in the single row for each metadata. Now for that, when it comes to something like vector 2 or vector 3, we need to divide this section into smaller sizes, and the next line will calculate that size. So we say float, or not that, float box equals to rect dot width minus 138 divided by 4, and then here is a magic number that I found by just try and error, 13.1f. Then we check if our type, not true type, what did I call it? Yeah, type equals to the Boolean. If that's the case, we would want to do things in one way. Then we obviously go for different types. Then we say else if the data type is int, or if it's float, if it is string, if it's rect, then after rect, yeah, we have vectors. Okay, so if it's vector 2, if it's vector 3, if it is vector 4, then we have quaternion. After quaternion, we have color. And I think the last one, yeah, curve. Okay, so if we are integer, or no, sorry, if we are Boolean, then we say element dot bool value equals to editor GUI dot toggle new rect, and this is rect dot x plus 51 comma rect dot y comma rect dot width. No, sorry, I'm ahead of myself. 75 comma height. Then we say element dot, no, it's wrong line, rect dot width minus 128 and height, and then element dot bool value. Okay, build. Go back into Unity. Let it import the plugin. And that's a wrong spot, meaning that I screwed something. X plus, oh, there we go, 128. And it should show up in here. There we go. Okay, so if that's the Boolean. Now, if I switch back to int, float, string, and add more, and missing method exception, method not found, inline value. Well, that's not a good thing, but I can do it here. Make it 10. Thank you. And I will come back to that error later. Rect, vector 2, vector 3, vector 4, quaternion, color, and one more, 11. Curve. And this is related to one of the callbacks that we didn't call yet, and that is about this plus. We will go there later. But that was the Boolean. Now I will copy this line. I will paste it here. If it's integer, then the int value equals to int field int value. Oh, int value. Okay. And if it's float, then float value float field and float value. If it's a string, Then string value equals to the text field, and finally string string value. Now this should cover cancel. This should cover some of the types that we have. And there we go. We have int that if I want to type, for example, 1.3, you see that point is not being accepted. Then we have this guy that I can put 1.3, and that is the string. Okay? Now, and if you look, it accepts that int value of 1. Element 2 is accepting the float value. No, here 1.3, and the other one is accepting the string value that I typed. Okay. Of course, as I said, I'm not happy with this overhead on each metadata, and in chapter 2 I will try to deal with that. But for time being, this is what we have. Okay. Now, for the rect, things start to get interesting. We say editor GUI dot label field new rect of rect dot x plus 128 comma rect dot y comma 13 comma height, and the label that we want to type is x. Then we say element dot rect value dot x equals to editor GUI that float field of new rect. Now here it is rect dot x plus 142. Then we have rect dot y. The width is the box that we calculated, and then the height. The value is, of course, element dot rect value dot x. Okay. Now I will copy these two lines for y, z, and the other one, w, I think, or width and height. Not. So the label is y, then it becomes width and height. The position is 144 plus the box that we calculated. The no, not equal, plus, come on, there we go. The y value equals to rect x plus 158 plus the box, and then the y value. W is 159 plus 2 multiplied by box. If I can hold down the shift correctly. Then here is the height. Rect x plus no, wait, this is width, not the height. Equals to 175 plus 2 multiplied by box and width. The height is 177 plus 3 multiplied by box, and the height equals to 191 plus 3 multiplied by box. And the final value is the height. If everything works, we should see the rect being laid out nicely here. And you see that, okay? The W is a bit small, but meh. I think I screwed that one. Yeah, it's the W is 14 pixels, not 13 pixels. Bit. And it should lay out now nicely. There we go. Okay, but as you see, this is a bit squeezed to one line. As I said, in next chapter, I will handle this differently. Okay. Now, next one is vector 2. Vector 2 and vector 3 is easy. They are like this. So we say v2 value, so vector 2 value, equals to vector 2 field. The rect is 128 and width minus 128, that, and vector 2 value. Now, before this, you see that it is asking for a GUI label. So we say GUI content dot none, and that's it. Vector 3 is the same. No, 3 and 3. Okay. Vector 4, however, is just like rect. Because if you try to put that vector 4 in single line, it won't work. The vector 4 field by itself is 2 lines and wouldn't sit nicely. So X, Y, Z, and W. So this one will be Y, it's the same. This one will be Z that we don't have, and this one will be W that we don't have on rect value, but I will fix that in a moment. So W and, come on, Z, and here you have the vector 4 value, not the rect value. So vector 4 value. Copy it, paste, 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 and paste. Build. Go back to Unity. So you see X and Y, X, Y, Z, these two fields work, but the one that we have for the vector 4 is not working if we use the vector 4 field. So we have to separate them ourselves, and I forgot something. This one should be 13 and the W should be 14. And I think the numbers are the same. 28, 144, 159, and 77. Yeah, that's okay. Okay? Now, that was vector 4. Obviously, quaternion is the duplication of this. We just need to change this vector value to quaternion value. Isn't that fun? Copy pasting. There we go. Okay, so we have the quaternion right now. And that's it. Now the only remaining is color and curve. They are really hard. Paste, paste. Now this one is the color value. Of course, we want a color field for our color value. And we can get rid of this GUI content none now. Okay? Now, this one, however, we say, I'm not sure if I set curve value, yeah, equals to curve field and element dot curve value, and that's it. Okay, build. And if we go back, we have our color and we have our animation curve. Okay, so if I switch it, you see that curve there. The curve is updating nicely. And of course, my last one has an animation curve in it. Cool. Now, the only problem remaining is this guy when I'm adding stuff. If I remove, it works. If I want to add, I get that error there. Okay, because missing method exception, method not found, default constructor. Okay, so we forgot that our inline value and infrastructure inline value. This guy has a default constructor. And it's private. That's the reason. So we want to make it public. Okay, and by doing that, I need to now say something like data type equals to the boolean. Okay, build. Although that should be the case by default. So now if I add, you see that it successfully adds, and the next element, of course, element 10. The data type is boolean. Okay, but you see that it is keeping the curve. If I add one more, it is having a curve, and that's not what I want. Okay, so I think I should comment this line. I don't want any curve as default being added to my system. Okay, so if I add one more, now we don't have any curve unless we add it. Okay, and that's fine, I think, because as I said, in next chapter I will come and tweak this thing. Now take a look. If I add more, I get that horizontal that vertical slider, but yeah, the commenting is going out of this place a bit, and I'm not happy about it, but meh, whatever. That's just GUI styling, and you can tweak the values to see where it fits nicely. Anyway, I think that's it. We have our metadata right now, and we can of course change it to curve and set this curve to be flat, for example. Okay, now test metadata, I'm not happy with that one. Between the two episodes I was thinking about how I'm doing this, so instead of this stupid line here, when I'm drawing the graph property view and I'm adding current graph, selected node, related node name, metadata, I will add node variables. Okay, and that's it. So if I come back now, you will see that this will change to node variables. There we go. And in my opinion, that's a better naming. Anyway, it was a bit short episode, I know, but right now we are almost finished with our system, and we are ready to sit back and think about how we want to handle our slots. Because if you recall, I was not happy with the way my node input and node output has the similar methods, and if I move it side by side, you see that it has similar methods all the way to the very core of it. Okay, same goes for the node input, if I find it, IO, node input schema and node output schema. So they have again the same structure all the way to the down of it. Okay, the only thing that is changed is the naming. So in next episode I will come back and change this guy. Okay, until then, have fun everyone. Bye bye.